Hello, history buffs and music lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Today on January 8th, we're turning back the clock to celebrate a monumental day in music history. It was on this day, back in 1935, in a humble two-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi, that a legend was born. His name was Elvis Aaron Presley. Little did anyone know, this baby boy would grow up to become the undisputed king of rock and roll and a cultural icon whose influence would echo through generations. So, how did this boy from Tupelo, born into a modest family, become one of the most famous people on the planet? His story is a whirlwind of talent, charisma, and a dash of perfect timing. Elvis's family was close-knit, but faced financial struggles. They moved to Memphis, Tennessee, when he was 13, a move that would prove to be pivotal. Memphis was a melting pot of musical styles: blues, country, gospel, and rhythm and blues. These sounds filled the air on Beale Street and poured out of local churches, and young Elvis soaked it all in. He didn't just listen. He absorbed these influences, blending them into something entirely new. His musical journey began quietly. He was a shy kid, but music was his passion. Got his first guitar for his 11th birthday. Reportedly, he had wanted a bicycle, but a guitar was what his mother could afford. What a fateful choice that turned out to be. He taught himself to play, carrying his guitar to school. Though he was often seen as a bit of an outsider, he was different, and that difference would eventually become his greatest strength. The big break came in 1953. Elvis, then a truck driver, walked into Sun's studio in Memphis. The story goes that he wanted to record a song as a gift for his mother. He paid his $4 and recorded 2 songs. The studio's secretary, Marion Kiesker, was impressed and made a note of his unique voice. But it was a year later, in July 1954, that magic truly struck. The studio's owner, Sam Phillips, was looking for a white singer who could capture the sound and feel of African-American artists. He called Elvis back in. During a break in what was becoming a frustrating recording session, Elvis started fooling around with an old blues song called "That's All Right," written by Arthur Big Boy Crudup. He gave it a fast, energetic, and completely fresh arrangement. The other musicians, Scotty Moore on guitar and Bill Black on bass, jumped in. Sam Phillips heard it from the control room and knew instantly he had found his sound. He asked them to do it again so he could record it. That spontaneous moment of musical inspiration gave birth to Elvis's first single and, arguably, to rock and roll as we know it. When "That's All Right" was first played on the radio, the switchboard lit up. Listeners were captivated. They didn't know if the singer was black or white. They just knew they had never heard anything like it. The song was a local hit, and Elvis's career took off like a rocket. His early performances were electrified. He wasn't just a singer, he was a performer. His swiveling hips, his sneer, his dynamic stage presence, it was scandalous to some, and utterly magnetic to his young fans. The media dubbed him Elvis the Pelvis, and teenagers screamed and fainted at his shows. A cultural revolution was underway. By 1956, Elvis was a national sensation, signed with a major record label, RCA Victor, and released a string of #1 hits like Heartbreak Hotel, Don't Be Cruel, and Hound Dog. He wasn't just conquering the charts. He was conquering television. His appearances on shows like The Milton Berle Show and The Ed Sullivan Show brought him into living rooms across America. Producers were so concerned about his provocative dance moves that, for one of his Ed Sullivan appearances, they famously filmed him only from the waist up. But it didn't matter. The energy was palpable, and Elvis mania was in full swing. His music was a fusion that broke down barriers. He blended country with rhythm and blues, creating a sound that appealed to both black and white audiences in a time of deep segregation. He always credited the African-American artists who inspired him, artists like B.B. King, Fats Domino, and Chuck Berry. He was a bridge between musical worlds, and in doing so, he helped shape the sound of popular music for decades to come. Of course, Elvis's career wasn't just about music. Hollywood came calling, and between 1956 and 1969, he starred in 31 feature films. While many of them were light-hearted musical comedies, they further cemented his status as a global superstar. Movies like Jailhouse Rock and Blue Hawaii produced iconic soundtracks and showcased his undeniable charm on the big screen. Then, at the peak of his fame in 1958, his career took an unexpected turn. He was drafted into the U.S. Army. For 2 years, Sergeant Presley served in Germany, a move that some thought would kill his career momentum. Instead, it made him even more popular. It showed a different side of him, a patriotic, dutiful young man. When he returned to the States in 1960, he was welcomed back as a hero. The 1960s saw Elvis transition from a rebellious rocker to a more mainstream entertainer. He focused on his movie career and recorded lush ballads like Courant, Help Falling in Love, and Are You Lonesome Tonight? While his rock and roll edge may have softened, his voice remained as powerful and emotive as ever. But by the late 60s, the music scene was changing again. The British invasion, led by the Beatles, had arrived. Elvis seemed for a moment to be a relic of a bygone era, but you can't keep the king down. In 1968, he staged a legendary television special, now known as the '68 Comeback Special. Dressed head-to-toe in black leather, he looked lean, mean, and ready to reclaim his throne. He performed his classic hits with raw, explosive energy, reminding everyone why he was the king in the first place. The special was a massive success and relaunched his career. This led to the final, glittering chapter of his life, the Las Vegas years. From 1969 until his final concerts in 1977, Elvis became the ultimate Vegas showman. Dressed in his iconic, jewel-studded jumpsuits, he performed sold-out shows at the International Hotel, breaking attendance records. He was a larger-than-life figure, a living legend, performing for adoring crowds. Sadly, behind the spectacle, Elvis struggled. The pressures of fame, a grueling performance schedule, and personal challenges took a heavy toll on his health. On August 16, 1977, the world was shocked by the news of his sudden death at his home, Graceland, at the age of just 42. The world mourned. But Elvis Presley's legacy was already immortal. He sold over 1 billion records worldwide, more than any other solo artist in history. He won 3 Grammy Awards and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. But his impact goes far beyond numbers. It changed music, fashion, and culture. He gave a voice to a new generation and laid the foundation for countless artists who followed, right from the Beatles to Bruce Springsteen. So many musicians have cited Elvis as a primary influence. Today, Graceland in Memphis is one of the most visited private homes in America, a pilgrimage site for fans from all over the globe. His music is still played on the radio, his movies are still watched, and his image is as recognizable as ever. He remains the king. So, on this day, January 8th, let's take a moment to remember the boy from Tupelo who shook up the world. Put on Jailhouse Rock, maybe try a hip swivel or two, and celebrate the incredible life and legacy of Elvis Presley. He was a true original, a cultural phenomenon whose star will never fade. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another story from history. Till next time.